The concept of social dialogue finds itself in a rather paradoxical situation. It is regularly invoked in public debate or managerial discourse as a best practice for driving change or making informed decisions. Yet, despite the apparent consensus surrounding it, social dialogue is caught between two criticisms, whose compatibility is often difficult to discern. For some, the rhetoric that values social dialogue would actually conceal a contempt that decision-makers demonstrate in practice. For others, social dialogue is a way for these same decision-makers to instrumentalize trade unions and divert them from their role as a counterbalance to power. To understand this paradox, it is important to revisit the definition of social dialogue, or rather, the attempts at defining it, since there is no settled definition. Social dialogue remains a vague concept, which makes it difficult to grasp and highly ambivalent. Like the International Labour Organization, it is indeed possible to define social dialogue by the activities it encompasses. The ILO thus tells us that social dialogue includes any type of negotiation, consultation, or simply exchange of information between representatives of governments, employers, and workers in various forms on issues related to economic and social policy that are of common interest. In this sense, social dialogue covers a number of procedures that make it possible to organize meetings between three types of actors: workers, employers, and the public authority, with the aim of making decisions. This definition is quite convenient and has certainly been successful, but it remains criticized from two main perspectives. On the one hand, it does not reflect the partnership dimension that underlies social dialogue. The emergence of social dialogue actually corresponds to a desire to transform these relationships to make them more cooperative, whereas they have often taken the form of social conflict. On the other hand, it tends to assign staff representation the role of sole interlocutor for decision-makers, who sometimes prefer a dialogue based on the direct participation of workers. Thus, social dialogue can be defined in technical terms, focusing on the procedures it involves, or in more political terms, emphasizing its objectives and stakeholders.